Hey guys, so this is Artsy Fartsy here. I finally was able to set up a way to record myself um, painting. Yes, it's really ghetto. It's what I got for right now until I earn enough money to buy a tripod. Um, this piece was about, well, this piece was my two original characters. Um, the girl is named Emmeline, the boy is Dean, and this was mainly about putting them in an environment that they are um, both familiar with, and my I was very happy with this piece because it showed me how much I've grown and how I was able to um, create a space for both the characters to live in, and I was able to think of what to put in the background because for me that is the hardest thing to think of. Um, Obviously, there are some things that I could work on, like composition, colors, placement, and thinking of other different objects that belong in that space with them as well. Um, yeah, I love these characters because I have a bunch of OCs, but I really love these guys because I can put them in in many different situations and it would be very funny and very entertaining, not only for the viewer but for me to draw as well. And I, yeah, mainly, so let me just explain my OCs. Dean can see ghosts, and that's the most interesting thing about himself, besides the fact that he loves the mythological and the paranormal. And then Emmeline is a witch, and she's she she's the most normal out of her sisters in her family to be able to even go outside and go to a public school, whereas Dean, on the other hand, is the outsider in his family, and um, so I feel like the perfect match because to her, weird is normal, and so like Dean and his ability to see ghosts are her normal, and so they click right away. And I don't know, it's something I've enjoyed developing their story. um so yeah, this is a watercolor piece. I tried to make it as short as I possibly could because this is a really long video for the first time, but the quality is way better than what I've had it in the past, mainly because I'm not the one holding it, but it is a ghetto setup, so um, I do have to say I've improved a lot, and my style is definitely changing um, in painting and drawing as well as this video. I mean, I feel like I've actually worked on this, and it's taken me a while to get it all put together because I'm still in school, but I'm proud of this. So yeah. um yeah, it's just a lot of placing of colors and um, figuring that out. I realized, so I love to paint in front of people because they sit there and they start watching, and it's because it's so satisfying to watch the white be brushed away by other colors. I didn't realize it until I started watching the video myself, and I was like, oh, it's just so amazing. Maybe that's why I watch so many other YouTubers out there painting. Yeah. I had this idea for this competition, or not competition, can I speak English? For this composition for a while, and I drew part of it, and then I was like, I'm getting bored with this size, so I decided to just lay it out on in a big sketchbook and see what I could do. And it was the first time in years that I drew on a big sketchbook that was the size of a regular notebook, and it was so satisfying. I'm so sorry. Keep yawning, but that's that time day. So the colors seem really vibrant here at first, but I had a plan. So I knew I was gonna lay them down really vibrant, and then I would add black to kind of push the foreground from the background and give it a little bit of depth. And we'll see that here in, well, maybe in a while. We'll see. It takes filming this took me a while because, like I said, I'm still in school. I'm working part-time, so those things tend to get in the way of being able to work on this stuff. Yeah, so I'm using a Winsor & Newton palette and some gouache. I don't know the brand of the gouache. I bought it, I want to say 3 years ago in Spain, mainly because there was nothing else. And when I use gouache, I don't use it like gouache should be used. I use it like a watercolor, which is probably not what I'm supposed to do, but that's what happens because I let it dry on my palette, and then I just add water so that it can reactivate the pigments and be used. This is actually a mixed media piece. Later on you'll see that I pull out Copics to color the characters, and I only do this because I've only ever colored them in Copics, and I didn't want to mess up the colors in watercolor because they have very specific coloring. Like Damien is ghostly white, kinda goes with his powers, and Emmeline is almost like summer to me. Like, she is vibrant, she is out there, she is pretty, she's a go-getter. But that's something that I wanted to keep, is that portrayal. I know I need to work on my shadows. that I figured out that I needed to work on a lot of stuff. It's just really hard with as many classes that I've been taking. I I really need to get back into a good habit of drawing and painting and working with my Copics. Eventually, I will get there. It's just the matter of getting there. So, man, I just don't know what to say in these things, just like everyone else, I guess. Well, you guys can let me know what are some of the challenges that y'all have when it comes to finishing a piece and or even getting started. That's something I've been trying to work on though, is making goals and finishing something. Jake Parker, I watch a lot of his YouTube videos, and something that's always stuck with me is finish a project. Like, you can plan out a project, sketch it out, all that stuff, but you need to eventually finish something. And I realized after finishing this, the only reason I was able to figure out what I needed to work on it was because I worked on the finished piece. Like, finishing a piece and going through the full process and realizing that I am so lazy, but also not at the same time. Yeah. So trying to think of what to tell you guys, and I know I keep saying the lining was done with multi-liners. I have purple, red, blue, and black that I used in this piece. I tried to darken up certain lines to make it so that make it look like there was more depth to where the characters are and kind of separate them from the background. Didn't work in some places, but it worked in others. So, yeah. I know this is a long video. I'm so sorry, guys. I tried to cut it down as much as I could without deleting my whole process, and I know you can see my head. There it is. Isn't it gorgeous? The back of my hand. I don't have watercolor brushes. I'm using multimedia brushes, but I have learned how to use them, and I really like them. I should stop saying that, but I can't. I'm mainly making these videos so that I can see improvement in my work and document myself moving along, and I know these videos are not going to be as consistent as I would like them to be, but I want to eventually get to that point where I am making videos with consistency and with better and better quality each time, but they're mainly for me to make documentation on my own art journey, where I've been, and how I can keep going, how I can keep learning, not only in the medium of watercolor or Copic markers or drawing or anything like that, but in film as well. And yeah, I want to get to that point eventually. It's gonna be a while though. And I'm also doing this to give myself confidence in my art and myself as a person. I mean, it's mainly just trying to overcome a lot of the fears that I have about showing who I am to others and accepting myself as who I am, and getting to a point where I don't mind what others think, and I just want to be able to enjoy my characters and that world that I've created and let others see it without being worried, because their world is, so I created it, so it has to be, things that have come from me and from my own experiences and what I think. So this is part of me allowing others to see into my brain and what's going on there, and not caring who likes it or who doesn't like it. And that's something that has made me think a lot in the past, I don't know, months. And I've thought um, about how when I label myself, or when I'm like, well, I only like this and I only like that, it's labeling myself, and almost like I would label somebody else. And I don't like that. I don't like labeling myself. And so I sit there and I'm like, okay, so I don't just love this, or yeah, I like this. I like this song, something I like, but that is not what defines me. And I feel like that's what I'm trying to do with my art, is not put a label on it, not say, well, it's just this, and just letting, it flow, instead of me trying to label it, put a label on it, because once I do that, then I'm not gonna like it as much, because I myself don't like being labeled. And if I label my art, then I'm labeling myself. I don't know. Maybe that was too philosophical for what this is. I mean, it's not even like, I like the piece, I like how it looks, I think it turned out really well, but I know I can do better. Like, I'm always trying to improve, so I know I can do better now that I've already done this. But it's not something super amazing or groundbreaking, so maybe I should cut back on the philosophical talk. I really like the idea of, what's her name? Of Art of Emily. She's another YouTuber, and I love how she tells stories as she does art. So I might do that. I don't know. I don't have super amazing stories. Maybe I can tell you about my dating life. I don't know. That's also very sad and very slow going, and nada. That's another that's another explanation and philosophical talk for a different time, I guess. But it's, you know, doing art and watching someone else do it, I like listening to the person because then you get to hear what their thought process is, and it kind of adds to, oh, well, now I know why she does art this way, or why her colors are a certain way, stuff like that. Something I did notice at this point, I didn't notice it until after I was done, but I should have created more contrast between the couch and Emmeline and her dress, but it's too late for that now, I guess. I just love how they are together because you can tell they were hanging out, reading a book. Well, maybe you can't see the book. There's a book on the floor that's flipped over open, like someone had been reading it, and there's like a bag of chips. I forgot to label the bag. Dang it. But just the fact that they're just kind of chilling in the house and it's calm and stuff like that. And I ship my characters. These two, they're meant for each other, and Emmeline's completely oblivious to how much Dean loves her, and so I love to draw him watching her or looking at her very lovingly, and her just being absolutely oblivious, because it's, I don't know, I think it's very sweet and I like it. So yeah, they're at Emmeline's house anyways, because Dean's family is normal and hers is a witch place. Very, very witchy and sorcerer-like, and he doesn't even, he gets fazed by certain things, Emmeline does, but you know, he doesn't mind. Anyway, we're getting if I can speak, we're getting towards the end of the video, and I'd just like you guys to know that I know I'm not perfect. I know this isn't the best art, and I know this is not the best video that anyone could ever watch, but this was a project that I finished, and I'm very proud of myself for even finishing it. Like, took me so much to even do this and get it done. But I would just like y'all to get out there, get artsy, get fartsy. Don't get really fartsy, but in the sense of art, yes. And y'all have a great day. Go finish a project, and you know, if you would like to let me know what that project was, go ahead and comment below.